guys, welcome back to another Oz Disco 4 video. This is just a quick one just to go over all the things that I've actually done, all the modifications I've done to my Discovery. And a lot of you have actually been asking me to redo a previous video because the music was a little bit too loud. So I previously didn't have a microphone, but now I do. So let's just get stuck straight into it and let's go over everything that I've done so far to my 2014 Discovery. So let's start right at the front. First of all, 22-inch steady LED light bar. I find this absolutely fantastic. Sees about 400 meters down the road or thereabouts, but gives you plenty of light even if it's only half that. Realistically, 200 meters is absolutely plenty, but the specification sheet does say 400 or just over 400 meters. Gives you a lot of spread light on these four at either end of the light bar, and then obviously directional beam straight up the middle. I've had it on the vehicle now 4 years or thereabouts. Been obviously out camping straight after work, sun goes down nice and quickly, so having that extra light ahead of me, being able to see far off into the distance is very, very handy. Some people ask me if I'm going to get like a 50-inch light bar for up the top. To be determined. We'll see how we go, but this is absolutely plenty, very minimalist, and that's exactly what I want to do with my car. To keep it minimalist, less is more in my opinion. Now the other thing that I've actually done is done some brackets. Now these actually pop through the I guess the grill or the grill cover. Now I had these made up by a mate of mine, so they're not something that you can sort of go down to Supercheap or Autobarn and go and buy off the shelf. These are a little L bracket. I'll grab a sample. These are a spare that I've got, so that was made up by a mate of mine in a thinner steel. Obviously pre-drilled the hole, so I've just sort of left them in there at the moment, but they just sort of sit in my toolbox just in case. But I've actually never had an issue with these over the last 3 to 4 years. I just painted them black, screwed them on the inside. There is a couple of mounting holes behind here, which I just drilled them out a little bit more and used the mounting screws that come with the light bar to obviously mount that in behind here. But it just slides in between this gap, pokes out just enough to give the light bar enough of a gap ahead of the grill, and that way it's, you don't need those license plate mounting brackets. You don't sort of need to cut any of your grill, because that's definitely what I didn't want to do. And I just sort of thought, well, reach out to your friends or your mates who might be in that sort of business, or even just at your local shop, your local metal fab shop. They might be able to do something up for you. Just get a little cardboard template, pop it up, get something that's going to fit for your vehicle. This one happened to fit for mine, and mount it yourself. It's an easy, I'd say 20-minute, half an hour job. Fits perfectly and looks great in my opinion. Now, without crawling under the car, because I'm definitely not going to do that today, I've actually got an APT gearbox bash plate. That thing has probably taken a few knocks over its time. I pretty much got that. That's one of the first things I ever did actually, is jump online, have a look at Discovery Mods, found APT, and bought one of their bash guards. I would like to buy one of their front bash guards as well, but we'll get to that definitely soon. But definitely the gearbox one has taken some knocks over its time, and obviously saved my gearbox. So I definitely get bash plates for your vehicle. They could save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in damage from off-roading if you're pretty serious about it. So I like to get out and about as much as I possibly can, so definitely a good investment. Not the easiest one to show you, particularly where my car's parked at the moment, but the aerial bracket is one that I got off. It was actually a custom-made job from one of the guys on the Oz Land Rover forums, and I don't think he's actually on there anymore, but I'm sure you'll be able to find something. But it actually just bolts up just inside here with the actual bonnet mount. So one bolt in there, just undo it, put this through, slides in underneath, again giving you that nice slim minimalist style. I've got a Uniden which will jump inside very shortly, Uniden UHF, but nice and slim and fits absolutely perfectly, and definitely hardly moves at all. I'm putting a bit of force on it, but it definitely doesn't get that sort of knocking out and about. But But yeah, I think it's a very important thing to do when you go off-roading, is definitely have a UHF in your vehicle. Keep in communication with anybody else who's out there, with your friends, your mates, but also if you get into trouble. Now moving down to my UHF. I've actually just mounted it down here. This UHF is the Uniden 880. I find it absolutely perfect. I'll see if I can actually turn it on. No, helps to have the power on. Yeah, so it's a 80 channel UHF, comes with replay function, which is very, very handy. I've actually mounted the base unit underneath the passenger front seat, but it gives you exceptional audio quality at a relatively good distance, particularly with the 6.6 dB aerial. So yeah, definitely a must-have, particularly in convoys and traveling overland or long distances, or both. Very, very handy, and I find it absolutely exceptional. So I've just used double-sided tape. I'm not putting screwing anything into my dash. This is actually double-sided tape. Get some good stuff. 3M. I've put it there about 3 years ago. It hasn't moved, so it's absolutely brilliant. I do want to upgrade this to the magnetic mount, so I can just sort of quickly stick it on rather than having to try and slide it in like that. But it really horses for courses. The other thing too is I found online, Land Rover Passion, an Italian-based business. They make these little brackets or little covers, if you will, for different sections of your car. They do it for the cup holders as well. You can put different switches and things like that. This one obviously controls my steady LED light bar at the front. I do actually want to make a nice sleek push button switch, but we'll get to that in due course. And I've just routed the comms cable directly through here at the moment. It actually just sits underneath. It's a little bit too small to fit into one of these holes, but in due course we'll neaten that up. But at the moment it is fairly tidy. But I recommend Land Rover Passion. They do a wonderful job, and this was relatively easy to fit. I think it took about 10 minutes to do, and then obviously the rubber base in there, you can sort of poke a hole in the side and run some wires through. Absolutely perfect, and again goes with that minimalism style that I'm after. Okay, moving to the inside now. I've actually just done this not more than a week ago. I've been searching for ages on a decent phone mount that is not a suction cup, because gets in the way, makes your windscreen all dirty and whatnot. I just personally hate it. The vent ones are absolutely crap because they wobble around on any sort of off-road surface that you ever get, and they end up falling on the floor down near your feet. Absolute pain, to be honest. But I found this company, Click On. It actually mounts specifically for a Land Rover. You can actually mount it up, mounted up here, or get another one that actually mounts down in your center console sort of area, depending on your preference. But it actually slides up under your dash, and part of the dash as well. I don't know what it's called, maybe the center column. But it's really, really firm, and I just sort of slide my phone directly into there, just like that. It's actually the control for the camera at the present moment, but you get the idea. It sits in here. I've actually routed the phone cable just for the moment, very temporary, to be able to charge it as is, but I find it absolutely perfect. Coming up, we're going over to Genoa Hills in about a week or so's time, so it will be the first true off-road test, but I'll give you a proper review on that a little bit later. But currently, as it sits, it's absolutely perfect. For those of you who follow my channel, you would have actually noticed the previous videos of the installation of a new lithium battery, but also my panel here, which houses my Enerdrive DC to DC charger, but also my Renogy 1000 watt inverter. You'll see, I guess, a couple of episodes of that, me putting it together and installing. There's plenty of space behind here, so go back, check out those videos, let me know your thoughts. But at the moment, I've actually just got one of my camera batteries just on charge at this time, just through the 240 volt just here. But this is actually probably one of my I guess, proudest things that I've actually done. It's taken me some time, had a little bit of help from some friends, particularly with regards to the 12-volt wiring, just to make sure that I've got everything hooked up properly. I'm not going to pull this panel off today. It is a bit tricky to sort of get on and off, but once it's there, it is permanently fixed. But again, screws just from eBay, nice and easy, just some fixing screws. My Victron battery monitor there, also Bluetooth, brilliant set of kit. Get onto Victron, they're absolutely brilliant. Particularly Enerdrive as well, DC-DC charger, has performed flawlessly on every camping trip so far. The switch panel, just down the end there, currently got it wired up to the 12-volt cigarette plug there at the present moment. The other switches I'd like to get for some camping lights, which we'll get onto the front row roof rack just on the roof. But just to have some surrounding light and have it accessed from the back of the vehicle, I think that's something that I really want to go down the path of, having it at the back rather than access at the front. Because most of the time when I go camping, I have the boot open to some degree, and obviously access through the back here I think is absolutely perfect. It was relatively cheap, 20-30 bucks off eBay. It is wired correctly. Please double check all of those things that you get from online purchases. A couple of USB ports, got a gauge there for obviously battery voltage at the present moment, but I've got the Victron anyway, just for more accurate information. 3 switches on there. It's just enough, just behind that little flip panel, and then this one I just made up myself. So it's slim, it's seamless. You don't have anything in the way. It doesn't catch on anything, and it's been straightforward. Underneath this floor is the I guess the battery tray or the battery bracket that I had made up again from a mate of mine at a metal fab shop. But go down to your local metal fab shop if you're after something. I've used high tensile steel bolts, which are actually the ones for holding down the back seats. So it's a flat plate, 2 high tensile bolts, and goes into the floor, which I'll show you. But that's sort of the crux of this back 12-volt setup at the present moment. So let's move to outside the vehicle. Front row roof rack. Need I say more, really? Full length roof rack, aluminium panels, nice and light, steel rails, bolt straight to the Land Rover fixing points. It's really straightforward, actually. The thing I like about it over some of the other brands is that you've got your horizontal bars rather than your vertical bars or lengthway bars, because I find that you can just loosen that, move things along, screw it back down, nice and easy, and you've got a variation of across the vehicle where you can mount things, whether it be holding down a gazebo, your tent, your chairs, whatever else you want to put up here. I find being able to transfer that weight across the vehicle much easier. The ones that run the lengthway down the vehicle, you're set to where those bars actually are. So there's limited flexibility. That's why I waited a little bit longer, and obviously got this one. I'm made in South Africa. Most of the stock, they do have some in Australia, but sometimes you do have to wait 2 to 3 weeks. But it comes in nice and quickly, and it's absolutely flawless. It's perfect. It does make washing your roof a little bit tricky, so just keep that in mind. Probably best to wash and maybe give your roof a coat of wax before you put this on. Taking it on and off is not a fun job, but keep that in mind. But again, as roof racks go, it's light. There's very little wind noise. There is wind noise. Any roof rack's going to have one, but it is absolutely perfect. I love it. It's nice and slim, and I reckon it looks great. Alright, welcome to the engine bay. Not a lot to show you here because there's absolutely 2/3 or 3/5 of nothing that I've actually done in here, all in due course, and we'll obviously take you guys through the journey. What I have had done is a tune though. Went down to my local automotive tuning shop, said look, can you guys look after a Land Rover? They said yep, absolutely. So I downloaded the tune, sent it over to one of their connections over in Europe. Sent the tune back on the dyno on and off a few different times, setting the tune backwards and forwards, came up with a decent tune. So what I have here is the dyno sheet. Just give you an idea. So at the wheels, straight out of factory, had torque of 489.5 Newton meters and 109.7 kilowatts. That's on factory tune. We went all the way up to 653.1 Newton meters of torque and 163 kilowatts. So that's a gain of 56 kilowatts, and I can't do the math in my head. What are we talking? 180 Newton meters of torque, which I think is an absolute massive change in the way she drives. It is an absolute rocket now. The twin turbo 3 litre V6 is an absolute weapon, and it is a hell of a lot of fun to drive, particularly to unsuspecting other vehicles on the street. So no exhaust, don't want to do an exhaust realistically. I might change my mind in the future, but we'll see how we go. But definitely erring on the side of reliability, particularly when off-roading for long distances, and hopefully be doing some more touring in the next few years. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my quick tour around the Oz Disco 4, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, maybe subscribe if you do like this content. I will be making more. Again, just a bit of a hobby on the side. Really enjoy doing this, and enjoy bringing you guys along for the ride. So we're heading out to Genoan Hills in a couple of weeks' time. Really looking forward to getting out with the guys. Just a bit of a boys' trip, getting out and away for the weekend. We'll be definitely bringing you guys along for the trip. Should be a lot of fun. Particularly with the recent rains that we've had in southeast Queensland here. Hopefully it's not too flooded. See how we go. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time, and enjoy getting out and about.